along the way here. This is my 4th video in my Learning the Hard Way series, and this video is titled 15 Subtle Signs and Red Flags of Disrespect That You Should Not Ignore. Now, some of these are just, it could be from your friends, it could be from perfect strangers. You might even have done them to other people. But they are signs of disrespect. It's something that you should call out. I didn't realize, like I'm saying, I'm learning the hard way on these things. These are all things in my series that I didn't realize. And I didn't realize I was being disrespected for years. And everyone is disrespected at some point in time. But I put up with it. And if you know the signs, you shouldn't. You should respect yourself. If you have somebody that's constantly, disrespecting you in your life, then you should do something about it, because that can bring you down. So the first one is they give you the once over. Like when you walk in the room, they look at you. Could be, the convenience store clerk. It could be your friend at a party. But they just look at you and they, kind of look you up and down and like, what are you doing here? So that's number 1. Okay, number 2 is cutting in front of you. Cutting in front of you at a line. Say you've been at Silver Dollar City and you're getting ready to ride a ride, and this group of people just shows up and cuts right in front of you. Or maybe you're at a grocery store and they just cut in front of you. It could be somebody you know, somebody you don't know. Either way, it is disrespect and you should call it out. Don't let it happen if you can help it. They're basically saying that I'm more important to you, or you don't matter, and they didn't see you there when they clearly did. So that is disrespect. Okay, number 3, ignoring your boundaries. Maybe you say, don't do that anymore. Don't call me that. Don't say that to me. Whatever your boundaries are. Don't come over. Don't call me at 7 a.m. Anything, is disrespect if they continue to do it. It's, they're disregarding your boundaries. It's like saying that you don't matter and what you say doesn't matter, and they're going to do whatever they want to do. So make sure that you call that out. That is a sign of disrespect. Okay, number 4 is not making eye contact when you're talking. And this could be anybody. This could be someone at the DMV. You're talking to them, you're asking them a question, and they're just not looking at you. Could be a friend. Hey, how you doing? Talking back and forth, and they're looking everywhere but you, at their phone, at the neighbor. They might even, while you're speaking, interrupt you and talk to somebody else. You want to make sure that people are not disrespecting you, because it can affect your self-worth, consciously or unconsciously. Okay, so number 5 is mocking you. Mocking your clothes, mocking your voice, maybe something that you're interested in. And everyone jokes around a little bit, but if it's to the point that you're the joke and you don't think it's funny, then it's disrespectful. So you need to say something or remove yourself from those people or the situation. I've had people mock me, make fun of my voice, because I do have a different voice, and it gave me paranoia. I was afraid to speak up on occasions. I don't care anymore. If you don't like my voice, then move right along. That's the way I feel. If they don't like the way I dress, if they want to joke around or do whatever, I'm going to completely ignore them. I'm going to remove myself from the situation. And this is something that I didn't used to do. And that's why I'm making this video. If I could just help one person or just anybody, or maybe it's just therapeutic to me. But don't let people do that to you. We're all here for a very short amount of time in this world, and you don't need people disrespecting you, making fun of you. That is disrespect. So be on the lookout for that. All right, Number 6, they speak to everybody in a group or make eye contact with everybody in the group but you. Unfortunately, I've had this happen to me many times in different situations. And basically, they're saying that you don't matter or you're not welcome here. It's an unspoken way to say that. And of course, there's an exception to every rule, like we always say. But if they're talking to everybody, and for whatever reason, maybe they're intimidated by you, maybe they just don't like you, for whatever reason, if they're not looking at you and they're looking at there's 15 people in the room and they're looking at everybody but you, or if they're talking to everybody but you, or if you try to speak up or they just kind of, cut you off, that's a major sign of disrespect. And for whatever reason, don't stand for it. Stand your ground, walk out, or just don't go back. Don't talk to those people. Don't circle in that group. I know if it's at work, it could be a little bit harder, but just the first step is to recognize the sign of the disrespect. And that is a sign of disrespect. All right, so moving right along. See how fast I'm going on this one? I'm always talking. All right, so number 7 is they copy your ideas or they take something from you. Maybe your pictures, and they create something with it. They don't give you credit. Maybe you had an idea at work and all of a sudden, Jimmy Joe came up with your idea and claimed it as their own without giving you credit. That is disrespect. And sometimes, when you're brainstorming, you give out some ideas and it's okay, but don't let them try to think it up, they thought it up on their own. That is a huge sign of disrespect and you should not tolerate that. Okay, so now number 8, that is excluding you, like making inside jokes and excluding you. So let's say you're in a group of people and you don't know them, or you know maybe 1 or 2 people, and they make jokes. You've been there, I've been there, unfortunately, more times than I'd like to count. And they make inside jokes. You have no idea what they're talking about. They're laughing. They're excluding you, and it's on purpose. Like, if it's a couple or something like that, and you're, at a picnic and they have an inside joke, that maybe might not count. But if it's like your friends or your co-workers or people at church at the potluck, they have these inside jokes when you're around all the time, that is a huge sign of disrespect. So don't tolerate it. Just move right along. I mean, I'm learning all these things, and sometimes it makes me angry. It makes me really angry. So we got to watch out for that. So if you're just becoming aware of these things, you've got to watch out for the anger. So I just woke up one day. Well, it feels like that. It feels like I woke up overnight and I noticed all these things. I'm like, what has been going on? And I've been very, very angry. But it's more at myself for not standing up for myself. So that's another reason why I'm sharing this, is so that you can notice these things as you move along in your life and you can squash it and get rid of the debris so you can float down the river peacefully. Because with all the debris around you, it clutters you. You will not realize it until it's gone. Trust me on that one. So, all right. Okay, so number 9 is showing up late or constantly canceling plans. Now, this is a sign of disrespect, and it happens, to a lot of people. And a lot of people do. I've even done that. I'm like a late shower-upper. And even though I do it, or anyone does it, it is a sign of disrespect. You shouldn't do that to other people. I mean, if you want to be nice. But it is a sign of disrespect, and it should be called out. It's basically saying that your time is not, worth as much as theirs. And, if you're going to a family reunion or if you're going to church and you're late, it is still disrespectful. But it's a little bit different. Like if you have specific plans with somebody, you're on a date, you're going on to lunch with your friend, they're always showing up late without, a real reason, then it's disrespectful. If you're sitting there for an hour waiting at the restaurant in the parking lot and your friend's constantly late. That's disrespectful because they're not valuing your time. Like you didn't have anything better to do than just wait there for an hour while they, chit-chatted at the grocery store. Whatever reason. It is disrespectful. And plus, I just want to add, that's just the way they are. No, okay, if that's the way they are, then move right along. That they're just always going to disrespect your time, and that is the way they are. So pay attention to that because you don't want that in your life. So that's one. Okay, so number 10 is eye rolling or sighs when you're talking, or just when you're around. If you speak and just constantly, it's very, very rude, and it's very disrespectful, and it's saying that you are annoying them. And maybe you do. Well, they don't need to be disrespecting you, and especially if it's somebody that's constantly telling you how much they love you, or if it's family or friends, or the lady at the grocery store checking you out. It's not cool, not the way to be. And customer service people is the worst. This really hacks me off when they do it, because I'm the customer, man. Don't be rolling your eyes at me. Or I used to have a friend, she used to constantly rolling her eyes like, hi, how you doing? Like, all right, okay, and I put up with that. I thought, okay, that's just the way they are. Well, you can be the way you are over there, because I'm not putting up with that anymore. And neither should you. It's a huge sign of disrespect, and you should not stand for it. I stood for that kind of behavior for years, and no longer. This isn't the new along the way. But for real, do not put up with disrespect, and do not put up with the eye rolling. And if it's a 5-year-old, that's all right. It's not all right, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about grown-ups, grown people, in grown-up situations. All right, so moving right along. All right, so number 11 is not introducing you to people when you're standing right there. Let's say you go to an event, and maybe you're with your friend and you go, to this event, and they meet somebody there that they know. Hey, what's up? And you're just standing there, and they talk for 15 minutes and they don't introduce you. That, my friend, is disrespect. I've unfortunately had that one happen to me multiple times. I've had them treat me like I'm not even in the room. I've introduced myself for whatever reason. Everyone says, oh, it's the reason that matters. I used to think that. I was a big thinker of that. It doesn't matter. The outcome is the same, and it doesn't matter why. So if people are not introducing you to their friends or somebody, and you're there, it's disrespect for whatever reason. It's very disrespectful. So pay attention to that, because the way people treat you, they're going to treat you like that in the future. Because the leopards do not change their spots, as my mama says. All right, so number 12. This is the day and age that we live in, social media. So if you are being excluded from pictures, if you're being excluded from tags, let's say you go to that event and the whole group is taking pictures, but guess who's not in the picture? You. And guess, maybe you are in the group picture and they tag everybody else. Oh, I forgot. Did I miss somebody? No, I'm not saying that accidents don't happen, but come on, we've been on social media for a while now. And for the most part, if you're forgotten, you're being disrespected. If you're not asked to be in the picture and everybody else is, you're being disrespected. So yeah, you're being excluded. You're not being tagged. You're not, you have a good friend, or you think that you have a good friend, and you realize one day, hey, there's no pictures of me on their social media, but all of their other friends are on there. You're being disrespected. If they post something, while you're in the restroom, and you're all out to lunch one day, and they take pictures of their friends, and you were excluded. They purposely didn't want you around taking the pictures, or maybe they were asking, for prayer and good energy for, you know, somebody, for maybe for you, and they didn't put your name in there. They didn't tag you. They didn't want people to know that they were talking about you. That is disrespect. Do not ignore that. And even if you confront the person, they're going to have some kind of weird excuse or, oh, come on, you're too sensitive, you're this and that. No, don't put up with that. Move right along. You nip it in the bud, like Barney Fife says. Just get rid of it. I mean, because this stuff will go on for years. For years. Do not ignore these signs. Okay? Do yourself a favor. I mean, I've already been there. I've been through all this kind of stuff. And it does nothing for you. Absolutely nothing but cause you grief and it makes you feel bad. And you do not know, if you went through what I did, you will not know the harm and the damage or the just, you know, the grief that it put you through until you get rid of it. And then when it's gone, it's like having a pain your entire life and didn't even know you had the pain until it was gone. Well, I'm trying to tell you, if they're doing this stuff, get rid of them, get rid of the situation, get out of it, whatever. That way you won't have, it's just so much better without it. So that's one reason why I'm making this video. Now listen to me, even if I'm just talking to myself, listen. Get rid of them. All right, so next. All right, so number 13, acting bored and distracted when you speak. So hey, what's up? And you're talking to them. You just met the person. You know the person. Any kind of situation. But as soon as you start speaking, they're just like, you know, it's bored. I mean, maybe rolling their eyes. It kind of coincides with that last one a few signs ago about the rolling the eyes. But just really bored. Maybe they're just, you know, scrolling, or, you know, then somebody else comes in and they perk up. So come on, you know, it's disrespect. Just move along from that. Don't, like, you know what I've done? I have cleared my life so much. You are my friend and I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is YouTube. It's just so much better. It's so much better to not have these things in your life. So this is a sign of disrespect when they act like they're bored. Maybe you are boring. Maybe you are. But you need to go to somebody or have friends or be in a situation where they're not going to act like that, because it will affect your self-esteem. It will affect your self-worth and all that stuff. Or maybe you don't notice at all, but whatever reason, you don't need people disrespecting you in your life. So just move right along. Okay, number 14, only reaching out when they need something. You know the person. Hopefully you don't know them, but I've had several, but one specific person. Never, ever did they call without wanting something. There was never, like, if they said hello, it got to the point where I didn't even say anything, because you'd say, hello, what are you doing on Saturday? And then you're like afraid to answer because they need a ride somewhere. Not that you shouldn't help people, but it's like, okay, I haven't heard from you in 8 months. Hi, how you doing? I'm not falling for that no more. It's disrespectful. It really is. It's basically saying, I only want to talk to you when I need you. And that's something that you don't need at all. Trust me on that one. Okay, so number 15 is responding to your wins with silence or sarcasm. You know the person. Somebody, you might know them, you might not know them. Maybe you're at the bingo hall and you won the bingo. Bingo, yeah, I won $500. And the chick next to you is like, yeah, right, whatever, that's disrespectful. It is. I mean, you don't want to expect this stranger to stand up and start, cheering, but come on, don't be rude, But even worse is if it's like a friend or somebody, hey, I won $500 in the lottery. Oh, come on. You won $500? Like, you deserve it. I need it more than you. Anything like that. It's very disrespectful. Or maybe they just don't say anything at all. Maybe you got that job, making $150,000 a year or something, hey, I just got this great job, and they just look at you, That's disrespectful. Not a friend either, by the way, but definitely disrespectful. All right, so there you have it. 15 signs of subtle signs and red flags or whatever I said they were. 15 signs of disrespect that you should not ignore. And number 4, my Learning the Hard Way series. Check out my other videos, guys. Thank you for your time. And if you like this content, please like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I would appreciate it. Thank you very much.